Mograph edits are cool as fuck. In order to make a good motion graphic edit, you need to have a decent sense of graphic design because motion graphics means graphic design in motion. You don't gotta dive into the color theory and hierarchy and the proximity and all that stuff. Just knowing what font and color will fit the vibe and the frame will go a long way. And if you don't know that, then don't worry because we learn by making, so don't let that stop you. That aside, let's get into it. So now we are in After Effects and this is a clip, and let me just show you the composition settings real quick. So I go to composition and this is 1440. By the way, you saw that? That's not editing. I'm doing this in real time. Look at this. That's cool as hell, right? What's this? That's cool as fuck. So it's 1440p by 1080p on 20 fps. I like to keep it 20 because for me that's a good balance between smooth and glitchy, but if you want you can make it 23 as well. Just don't go above because that looks ass. And then I have this clip of the music video which I'm gonna work over. By the way, the audio of this video will be muted for you, which means the song, it will be muted for you because copyright is a bit. By the way, you can get these clips and other assets from my Discord server along with the project file, but hold on man, hold on. Even though the project file is available, you won't be able to understand if you don't follow the explanation in this tutorial. So watch this till the end. Please. Hold on, there's a lot of useless stuff here, so let me just remove it real quick. Hold on. Alright, so first of all, I wanna make these type of stars because these stars are the part of his album and the music that we are using, so you know it kind of fits the theme. On top of that, since they are so small and minimal, I mean not here but we will make them, they would create a good particle type background element that we can use on 3D camera to, you know, enhance the depth and all that stuff. To make the stars, I'm gonna go here, hold on. I'm gonna go here and then I'm gonna left click and hold here to open this menu, and then I will select the star tool. Now let me make a star, like just left click and drag and the star will be made. And after that, click here, hold on, click here to change the color. So just left click and pick any color you want. I'm gonna choose this one, let's say, and then okay. Now I'm gonna duplicate this star 4 times, no actually 3 times, because there are 4 colors. So one is this will be other color and the other color. Now let me just change the colors of these. So this one should be this. There you go. Now we have blue star, green star, pink star, and yellow star. Alright. Now what I wanna do is firstly I'm gonna change the color of these layers so you know it's little more clear what kind of star they are. So this one is blue star, so let me just go in here and change it to cyan. So yeah, you know that's it's close, you know what I mean. Next, this one is green star, so I'll go here and select green. Then this one is pink star, I'll select pink, and then this one is yellow. Is that, I think that's not it, that's mustard, right? It's mustard. I'm so sorry, let me just make it yellow. Okay, so I guess we are good. Let me just enable these stars, and yep, here we are. We have this, and this. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to kind of randomize them. Okay, now first of all I'll just duplicate them because 4 star is clearly not enough. So select all of these, control D once and control D twice. So you know now they are 3 times more, so like 4 times 3, whatever that is, I don't know. Now if I do this, you can see there are lots of stars. And now it's time to arrange them. Okay, now I'm gonna remove this useless layer because it was only for the reference. And now it's time to position your stars well. Before positioning them anywhere, I wanna put the anchor point of the star in the middle because that would provide us better control over the star, and overall that's a good thing for the star. So for that I have this script from the AE Juice pack. It's this one. I can just click here and then click in the middle, and the anchor point will go in the middle of the star. This is free, you can check this out. I will put the link in the description, and I'm gonna do the same anchor thing for every star layer. So I'll just go here, wait, click here, hold shift and then click here. Now all clips are selected. Now I'm gonna click here and then in the middle, and now every anchor is in the middle of the star. So that's pretty good. Okay, after this, I'm gonna also scale them down a bit. Just the stars, I'm gonna scale them down a bit because I don't want them that big. I don't want them to cover whole screen. Let me just make it like 50. Okay, and now I'm gonna add a 3D camera. Why? Because I wanna make this a 3D scene. 3D camera movement literally carries these type of edits. If the movement is good and smooth, your edit will be fire. But on the other hand, if it's bad, your edit will be ass, straight doo-doo garbage. But lucky for you, I have this tutorial which explains 3D camera in great details. You can check that out after this video. The link will be at the end of this video and also this eye icon here. So, you can just check that out. But that aside, let me just add a 3D camera. So, new and then camera. Okay. And after that, I'm also gonna add a null. Now I wanna, let me just do this. Yeah, now I wanna enable the 3D of all of these layers. So like just press Ctrl A to select all and then click on this cube thing to enable 3D. And remember, you need to enable 3D of these stars and the background layer, which is this styler layer, and also the null layer, because null layer will be controlling all these 3D stuff. Okay, what I like to do while working with 3D is I will click here and then click on two views. Now there are like two different screens. Okay, then I'll click on here on the right one and then I will click on this place and make it custom view 1. Now this is like a custom 3D view, like a 3D space. I can move in the 3D space, you know what I mean? And this makes it very easier to work with 3D. And this cube thing, it's actually our camera. Okay, and now to move them in 2D space, go here and just put them like this. What the hell? Yeah, like this. Maybe with this one here, this one here, whoop, here. Just do some random shit. And like after you're done with messing them up, like putting them like these and all, you wanna move them in 3D. To do that, go to this one, this one, and grab this z-axis handle and move it. You can move it here and there. This will enable the 3D, and this will kind of move these in the 3D space, if you know what I'm saying. Now I'm not gonna lie, I think that these are too many stars, so I'm gonna delete a few of them. Let me just disable this one for a second. Yep, now this is pretty useless, or I can either disable them or just scale them down. So yeah, let me just scale them down so they are not that big. Let me just remove this one, I guess, and put this one here instead of this star. Like try to make it look random. Randomizing these, they look really good. And like the imperfect can you speak? The imperfection of these things, they look really good as well. Okay, so maybe try to rotate them a bit here and there. Try to scale them out a bit. Try to move them out like this. Try not to move them backwards. Like instead of scaling, don't pull them backwards in the Z position, because if you do, they will get behind this layer and then they will disappear. Like you can't see the star. So don't do that. If you want to make them smaller, just scale them down. Okay, that's pretty good. Let me just remove this. Okay, now here we are. Okay, after that, now it's time to make some movement. To do that, first of all, you need to link your camera to the null. Now it's linked to the null. And now press P on the null. And now you can make movement. Make a keyframe like this and put it, let's say, let me just put it here. And then I'ma make it like this. I'm just zooming it in. Or maybe it's a little too much, hold on. Let me just make it something like this. This should not be that bad. Okay, now I'm gonna select both of these layers and then press F9 to easy ease them. And now you won't be able to edit the graph like this because they are locked in a sense. So to customize them, you need to unlock them. To do that, just click here and they will unlock. There will be different positions here and there. And now I'm gonna make a smooth good graph. If you don't know how to make good graphs, then I got you. I got this video which is absolutely crazy. It dives deeper into how to make good graphs and all. Check that out after this video. Let me just make the curve and arm it like this. So when I play this, it's pretty good. Let me just make it a bit more. Yo, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, now I'm gonna make some text. So just press Control T and type your text. So let me just customize the text. What the hell is this font? Let me just make it lemon and the milk, which is it's lemon milk. Yeah. Okay, so I have these text here, only the four lyrics. I'm not gonna write all of them down because I don't got time for all that, but you'll get the essence of how it's made. I'm gonna firstly move these text in the bottom of camera layer. So select these and put it here. So it's more clear about what I'm doing. And I'm also gonna enable 3D because I wanna make them 3D. So if I play right now, it's like this. Okay, now what I want to do is just go back to the two views, 3D camera view, and now just customize them a bit. So let's say I want to make them smaller because obviously they are big ass text. Let me make it like this. Okay, so there they are, decently aligned, I would say. And now it's time to sync them. So, and here it says I. So let me just grab the I and then put it here. Use this bracket, the square bracket keys to move the layers like this. So, I'm just click here. And spend some time trying to sync these lyrics because they are essentially a really big part of your edit, because if they are not synced properly, your edit feels cheap. I'm just gonna remove that scene, the 3D part, because that makes my AI very laggy. Alright, it's good now. It's good. And you can add some effects here if you want to, but I think it looks good here. It looks decently good like this. What I want to do is I will change the color of this because this is too white. If you know about graphic designing, the pure white and pure black are not the best colors to use. So what I'm gonna do is, let's say I'll select this color and then I will just tone it down a bit. So it's not white, but it's not this color as well. So it's somewhere there. And now it's very matching to this hat. I'm just gonna add a, let's say, drop shadow to it. So I'm gonna add a drop and the shadow. And let me just make it like this. This and let me copy and then paste on other three layers. And yep, it's decent. It's not bad. Yep, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Now it's time to make some other stuff. Alright, so now I want this to zoom out and I want the card to appear outside of the camera. And the thing is that I want the card to be adjusted according to the movement. So I will make the movement first. So I'm just gonna add a new null, this one, and I'm gonna do the same thing, enable 3D and then link this null to this null. We are not gonna make multiple movement on one single layer because that will ruin your edit. Okay, so I'm gonna make a zoom out, and remember we are using Z position to zoom out, not scale, because scale is fake zoom. We need to use Z position to zoom out. So hold on. Okay, now it's time to zoom out like this. Okay, now let me just make it like this. If you don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing, then make sure to check out the camera and the graph videos because I have explained everything in those two. Now I'm gonna go here and then make them to speed graph and then also easy ease them. So F9. Now it's time to make a graph. I want to zoom out here. Okay, that's it's too slow. Okay, let me just speed it up. Kinda not synced properly, so let me just make it like this. I know you can't hear the music, But I need to do the best from my part in order to teach you guys. So stay patient with me. Alright, now we have this much of empty space. For that, just zoom this clip out a bit with the scale. Remember to zoom it in with the scale and not the speak with the Z position. On second thought, when it zooms out like this area feels pretty empty. So I'm just gonna grab some of these stars and put it there. Maybe duplicate them a bit. At the end of the day, you just want to make shit look good. Just do stuff that will look better. Let me just quickly randomize them a bit. Yeah, now let me just play it again. This looks good, but one thing that I'm noticing, these stars are kind of blending into his character and the color correction of this scene. So let me just add a drop shadow on these as well. So copy this drop shadow and paste it here. Which one is it? This one. Let me just examine. Maybe decrease the opacity and a bit of distance, I guess. Increase softness. Yeah, that should look better. Copy and then just paste it all on all of these star layers. And why the hell are there these two layers of the background? I'm gonna remove the one. Maybe I duplicate them by mistake, but I'm a human. I make mistakes sometimes, so don't be on my ass. Calm down. Let me just decrease the quality and the preview because this thing will blow my PC up. Alright, now it's time to make the card thing appear. And for that, I have this image of his card. I'm gonna use that. And the thing is that I need the camera to go through this, this frame, this square, and don't really affect the rest of this. First of all, let me just remove these weird borders that I have here. You can do it by pen tool if you want the precise cuts and all that stuff, but I'm not doing all that. So I'll just select this rectangular, the rounded rectangle tool, and then click here and drag it something like this. This looks decent, I guess. I guess that's good enough. Okay, yeah, wait, let me just change it a bit. Maybe it's not good enough. This should be like this. Alright, now that's good enough for me. And now I'm gonna make the movement. Okay, so this is my layer. Let me just put it below the camera so I can have a good visual sense of what's happening. Enable 3D and let's just play it. Let's just see how it works. Okay, I want it to appear here. Let me just see where the peak of this graph is. It's here. So let me just mark this. Wait, I don't know how to mark this. I just bought a new keyboard. My numpad is gone. Let me just mentally mark it, I guess. And now to set up this card thing, I'm gonna go back to these two views. This little thing, that's our camera. Hold on. This little thing. Alright, now I'm just gonna select my card and then I'm gonna pull my card like this. So yeah, let me just put it a bit more. So this card disappears. Or it goes beyond our camera like this. So this was our camera, by the way, if you don't know. This wait this this thing moving, that's our camera. So I just did that and I moved the card behind my camera while it was transitioning. So it looks like this. So it looks like the camera is going through the card because if you see here, it literally is. This is camera and this is card. It goes here and it goes through my card. Let me just size it down a little bit, not too much, a little bit. And now I want it to pass through this, this picture, not the whole card, but the middle of this picture. So I'll just drag it here, put this in the middle. And now when I play it, okay, so that's good. Now the thing is that now it's moving like this, right? That's too quick. I don't want that. That looks bad. What I want is I want this to fade in after our camera moves through that frame. So for that I need to separate this image and the card both. First of all, let me just go to the point where I can see the whole camera and stuff. Here it is. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a mask. So let me just make it like this. And when I'm done with my mask, you'll see, oh, nothing happened. What happened? That's because we have a mask on there already. One mask was this one because we masked out the extra border that this photo had, and the other mask is this one. To fix that, I'm just gonna go to the second mask, which is our image mask, and then make it subtract. Now you will see that this part is gone. Okay, that's all, it's gone. Now duplicate this layer and press M on the second layer and go to mask 2 and invert it, and now it will be back. So if I go to the first mask is just photo, and if I go to the second mask is just the card. Okay, so it's that easy. I'm gonna rename this because I don't know, I just wanna act like I'm very organized person, so I'll just keep it photo, and then I'll keep this one, let's say, card. This is photo and this is card. That's all. Pretty cool. Now I'm gonna make a fade out transition. First of all, let me just make it third because I don't want my PC to blow up. Now I want this card, or I mean this photo, to appear out of nowhere. So I can do it by just like this opacity transition, just doing some stuff like this. And wait, let me just make it like, yeah. Wait, that's too slow. Um, Something like this. But that's no fun. That looks very basic and all. You don't want that, right? You don't wanna. We don't do it like that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna add a gradient wipe on this photo. So add a gradient wipe, and now when I do this, you can see that it appears and disappears like this. It's much better than just opacity, because opacity is very constant and this is very randomized kind of. So it looks good like this. What I mean? First make it 100, so our clip, our photo disappears, and then add a keyframe, go ahead a bit, and then make this 0. So when I play this now, it appears like this. It's obviously pretty slow and it's obviously not synced, but let me just sync it. Okay, not bad, not bad. Now, it's very rough, I would say, if I play it on full. Damn, that's pretty rough. To make this smoother, I'm just gonna enable this, and let me play it now. Let me just. Alright, now I want to zoom it in here on this part and then add a text like sugar text something. Okay, to do that, I'm gonna add another null on top of this null. So right click and then add a null object and then link second null to the third null and enable 3D. Press P and make the same thing, make a movement where this is where he says sugar, so this is the part where it should be zoomed in by then. So I'm just gonna zoom it in and then make position like this, I guess. That's one. Let me just make it like this. I think that's gonna be fine. And now let me just make something like this. Okay, now it's time to make graph. So select both of these keyframes, press F9 to make them like this, to ease them and make a graph. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I think this card is a little too big. So I'm just gonna zoom it out a bit. Oh, what the hell? No, just select both of them and zoom it out. And maybe, no, don't position them, just zoom them out. So, okay, and automatically this even looks better. And since I've zoomed them out, let me just, change this layer so they are more aligned. You know what I mean? So, I didn't notice and I realized that this null is actually zooming it out rather than zooming in. So I'm just gonna change that real quick. I'm gonna zoom it in here. So this is pretty valid, I guess. This looks pretty good. Yup. And when I play it now, Hold on, let me just make it full. Alright, now the graph is not smooth enough. Let me just make it smoother. Alright, so now I want a text written sugar to be here, but it's gonna take a lot of time if I try to make it right now. And here comes a juice packs, a tool which I'm using for a long time, to be honest. I'm gonna search for vintage title pack. So it's this one. And when I open this pack, there are these pre-made text that I can use here. So I'm gonna use this one. Just click here and add the text. Now here it is. Here's the text. Right now it's on the quarter mode, so you won't be able to see it clearly, but it's here. Now I'm gonna customize this text. So to do that, I'm just gonna click on this layer and then click here, and now it opens a lot of options. So I'm just gonna make it sugar, right? So SUGAR, and there you go. Oh, hold on, let me just make it all caps. There you go, sugar. There are these two animation behind it, like 2 and 3, so I want to change them as well. For that, I'll just click here, edit in AE, and then it will show me all the files. Now let me just remove the unnecessary parts. So there, I removed them. Now I'm gonna change the color of this text because this doesn't really fit my theme. So I'll just go here, delete this gradient ramp, add a new gradient ramp, and just change the color. So let me just make it like this blue, I guess. And I'm gonna make the second one a bit darker, maybe. There you go. I think that's good enough. I'm gonna copy this and then paste here. And now I change the color to this. Let me play this once. That looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And this is just one example. They have a lot of professional presets and packs that you can use in just one click. And by the way, this is not just promotion. I have actually been using their products for a long time, even when I was a beginner. And I can tell you that I have saved so many hours and avoided so much frustration. You should definitely check them out. The links of these will be in the description. Purchasing through the affiliate links also helps me and this channel, and I love y'all, so I'm gonna give you a code for some extra discount. I really appreciate the support y'all been giving on my videos, and the interaction in the comments really help me keep this channel working. By the way, if you are enjoying so far, consider subscribing and liking and commenting. We are going to make a simple text animation in a while, so you can use that on this. So I'm gonna go back here, okay, and I'm gonna play this. Yeah, the text animation is pretty good. So I'm just gonna drag this below the camera and enable 3D. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna wait, firstly let me just adjust this. Yeah, and now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go to the two views, and then I'm gonna position my text layer so it comes above this camera layer. So make something like this. Okay, so this is where our text is. I'm gonna adjust it a bit more, something like this. Yep, this should be fine. And I'm gonna scale this down so it fits the frame because this is big as hell. Okay, when I play it now, how does it look? Hold on, it's too late. It's too late. Yo. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That looks fire. Okay, now let me just adjust this movement a bit more so it's like this. And I'm gonna also adjust this a bit, so P for position. And yep. Okay, so this is how it looks so far. Actually, I want to make this card a bit more smaller because I think it's a little too big, and I'm gonna make other transitions after this one. So, I just don't want it to take all of my screen. Select both of these and press S. You can also be smarter. You can just link this one to this, and now when you make this smaller, bigger, they both move together. But I'm dumb as fuck, so I'm just gonna keep it like this. And let's see. Yep, that's pretty good. And let me just make the text a bit smaller as well. So like this, and yeah. Okay, now I want a Spotify UI to come behind this, and then I can continue with my Spotify UI typography and whatever you can call that. So for that, I have this screenshot here. So it's this one. And if you want your own screenshot, you just need to go to Spotify and then just screenshot this. So the shortcut is Windows Shift and S to make a snippet, and just drag this like here, and then go to your notifications and just click here and then click here to save it. That's all. And so I want this UI to appear behind this card in place of this card, right? So the thing is that if I remove this card, that would be better. So I can get a, clean canvas or clean slate. And for that, I'm just gonna click on this tool, the rectangular tool. And then I'm gonna click away from this layer. So it's not selecting any other layer. Now it's not selecting any other layer. And now let me just change this color to this background. And let me just make a rectangle over this one. But let me just remove the stroke as well. Yep, here we are. So now we have a clean slate. And after that, I'm just gonna pre-compose both of these layers so they are in one single group. And now I'm gonna adjust this so that when it comes up, this card is in the middle of this frame. So to do that, first of all, I'm just gonna enable 3D here. And now the image will disappear. Then go to two views. So you can have multiple view, right? And then grab this blue axis and then pull it forward. And what you want to do is put this image just behind this card, so it's more aligned and it doesn't mess up while we make movement. It's a good practice to do that. So this is my card, this is my card, right? And this is my text. I'm gonna put this as close as possible. I think that's close enough. Now I'm gonna grab this one from here and just adjust it. All right, now just zoom it in a bit so it fits the frame. Let me just go back to one view because my PC is gonna blow the fuck up. This should be better. And let me just make it third. Alright, I think that's positioned pretty well. And let me just play it. Let me just see how it looks. Don't worry about this transition getting messed up because this layer will appear after this transition, so there's nothing big deal. So let me just make a simple opacity transition. Press T to open opacity and then make a keyframe, pull it a bit forward and then make the keyframe 0. Okay, I think keeping it like this would be good as well. Yep, it looks pretty good to me. And then let me just keep this text below camera so, it feels organized. Now I want the camera to go down on the text. For that, I'm just gonna add another null, go back a bit, Yeah, click here, new, and then null object. Put it on top, link this to this, enable 3D, and then press P. And now I'm gonna make more movement. So zoom it in first. And let me just see the keyframes of, yeah, let me just keep it here and then wait, I think the text disappearing by here, so let me just go in and make it bigger. Yep, I think that's good enough. And now it's time to make some movement. I'm gonna do this. The text will be a little blurry because it's on third mode. Let me just put the text in the middle of our frame so it's more visible. It's on the center so people can see it easily. And now I'm gonna make a graph. So select them F9 camera, I mean graph, and then make them like this. I want the camera to go down on this part, so I'm gonna make the peak of my graph at this part. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. And now all that's left is this text animation and a little bit of adjustment. So for the text animation, I'm gonna go inside this precomposition and make it full first of all. And now I wanna put my text on this place, right? On this place and on this place. For that, I need a clear place. So I'm just gonna click on this one and then make a rectangle like this and change the color to the background, and there you go, it's clear now. You can try to make it look perfect and all, but don't worry about this because we're about to change the background anyway. So if it's going out of the background, don't worry. And now I'm gonna make the text. Press Ctrl T to open the text cursor and then click anywhere on the screen and write your text. In my case, I'm just gonna write the lyrics. And right now obviously it's not very visible, so let me just adjust it. Let me just make it grayish so you know it's visible on both black and white. And the Spotify uses the font Gotham, so use the Gotham font, and I'm just gonna change it to, let's say, bold. No, I think bold is a little too much. Book should be okay. Yeah, and let me just scale this down a bit and put it here. And now this one thing is very important. You want to disable your text for now and also disable the square that you made to cover that text. And now your text is visible. The thing is that you want your new text to look as good as the text in this place. Okay, so for that I'm just gonna make it some other color right now so it's not blending in. And now as you can see, as compared to this one, this is very small, right? This is very thin. So click here and then make it bold. And look, it's literally the same text. One more thing I would suggest you can do to make your text look better is, let's see, it's written Lil Uzi Vert here. So I'm just gonna change my text to Lil Uzi Vert. So, and let me just disable the capitalism. What? Capitalization. Okay. And now I'm just gonna put this text on this text. So scale this down a bit, put it here, and then I'm gonna zoom it up until I can see that it's lined up pretty well. And now you can see that even though the text is same, the space between them is not same. Okay, so I'm just gonna sync the middle one first of all. This one should be fine, I guess. Let me just, okay, I think this is good enough. And now to make the gap smaller between these, select your text and then use this handle to change it. And when I make it like this and make some more adjustment here, and now you can see that it's covering pretty much all of the text, so it's more perfect and more symmetrical to the original text. So you know, it's a good thing to do in order to make your text look better. There will be some people who will tell you exact values of these and tell you to make it 95 and make it this and that. You can listen to them, but at the same time you are never gonna have the exact values of every type of text. So you know, you need to learn to make this stuff by yourself. That aside, now that my text is perfect, I'm gonna change it to what it originally was. In my case it was the lyrics, so let me just write it again. And now I'm gonna make my text same color as the original text. So just pick the color and then just enable the box to hide the text. There you go. Now these are our text, right? Now it's time to animate them. The animation is really simple. Just click on this arrow and then click on this animate button and then select position. Then click again on this animate button and select opacity. Then go to position and position it however you want. So this will be the starting position. I'm gonna make it 100, so just make it 100 like this and make the opacity 0. Then open range selector 1 and make a keyframe of offset and make it -100. Go ahead a bit more and make the offset 100. And now when you play this, it's gonna look like this. Not good enough obviously. So to make it better, I'm gonna select this advanced option and open it and then change the based on mode to words. So now when I play this, it works word by word rather than text by text, right? And now go to the shape and make it ramp up. So now when I play this, it comes up like this. But the animation is very linear. You don't want that. To change that, go to easy high and make it, let's say, 25 and then make the easy low 100. Now when I play this, it comes up like this, and I'm not gonna lie, that looks pretty good. Yep, it's pretty good. Now all that's left is to sync it with the audio. So when I go here and play my audio, to make them faster and slower, you need to play with these keyframes. So when I make it like this, they come up really quick, and when I make them like this, they come slowly. So when I play it now, it looks pretty good. And now it's time to make another lyric below this one. To do that, I'm just gonna Control D to duplicate this layer, and then I'm just gonna change the text. So For now, let's just keep them how they are, and let me just enable the shape layer for a second. And now you can see that this text is very different than the first one. So I'm gonna change this one, the second one, to sync with this one. So it looks similar. For that, first of all, I'm gonna change this text from bold to book, I guess. I think book is the right one. And then I'm gonna size them down to make them look like they belong with each other, you know. God damn, I can't see shit. Let me just make this one Tyler for a second because that's the word written behind this. So, and now when I put it here, yep, it syncs up pretty good. So I think it's pretty good. I don't need to worry about the text and all of this one. And now I'm just gonna change it to the gray color. So select this color picker tool and then this color, and yep, it's pretty good. Enable the box again to hide the layers, and there you go. Let me just put it here and then let's just see how it works. I need to sync it better. Okay, now I think that's pretty good. That's synced up pretty well. Let me just make it back to third, and let me just make this back third as well. And yeah, that's basically your typography. That's pretty simple, right? Now I want this camera to go to the lemon and then move down, so it looks a little better. These little things, they actually do matter. So firstly, I'm gonna make this position to go to the lemon first, and now when I play it, it looks like this. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna add another null. Wait, let me just go out of this layer. Now I'm gonna add another null object, put it above all, sync 3D, press P again and add another motion. I'm gonna zoom it a bit more because the other text is very small. I mean, comparatively, it's pretty small, and make the graph. Okay, so this is how it looks so far. Now, this background, it doesn't really look good because, it's very empty and kind of, it looks incomplete. So for that, I'm gonna fill this place with the background of the Spotify. Just go into this and add a solid layer and then make the color same as the background, and okay, and just put it in the background. That's all. And since the whole composition will fade in slowly, which means the background will also fade in slowly, so it won't be a problem when I play this now. It's pretty good. There's no issue. If you want, this text is kind of distracting, so I'm just gonna go in and make this text empty as well. So select this, make it like this, go to fill, color pickup tool, and okay. Now when I go back, yep, it's not that distracting anymore. If you want, you can just add your username here, so it's kind of a watermark, but that's on you. Whatever you want to do, you have the creative freedom to do that. Do that. What I actually wanted to do in my video is that I wanted to slide this camera down a bit, like on like this, and then it would show this part of the video, which is like the music video part of the Spotify, and then this would have another clip and we can transition from it. But that's the idea that I had. It's nothing necessary. I'm just yapping. Now I'm gonna make a one frame transition that I like to make. So for that, I'm just gonna get my clip first. So this is my clip. I'm gonna use this to overlay it. And now when I play this, it looks like what I like to do is I will first duplicate this and then freeze frame on this layer. So I'm gonna freeze frame here. Now it's a still image. Now take this tool and just make a rough cut like this. It doesn't need to be perfect because it's one frame after all. So yep, but that should be fine. And make it like this. And now use fill to fill this and make it white because I want to make it white, and just make it to the length of one frame. So it looks like that. It looks good sometime. If you want, you can also make this a little bigger. So it, it kind of overlaps this and then it comes like that. So, it looks good at that point as well. You can also do it something like this, and then you do here Control Shift T and also mask the handouts. And now when I play this, it looks like this. Yeah, let me just make it one frame, both of these, and I think it should look good now. Yep, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then this part is missing, so there are these black things on top and bottom. So to fix that, just go to your background layer and then add motion tile on them, and then increase the width and the height and then make it mirror image. There's one more thing I wanna discuss. Well, not many people know this, but if you go to camera settings and camera options, there is a depth of field option. To make that, just enable this, increase the aperture and also increase the focus distance. And now when I play this should have some 3D depth in it. Like if you see this is little more blurred, and when I go to this clip this is more blurred. So it's like things that are closer to camera or things that are out of focus are blurred and things that are in focus are not blurred. You can visually see it if you go here, and then you can see where the blur is because this thing is actually the blur. So if I change it, let's say focus distance, so it changes like this. Now first of all, this is the part where the camera slows down, so I want this part to focus on Tyler. So I make it like this. The blur is not enough, so I'm gonna increase the blur as well. So increase aperture and also blur level. If you want to increase the blur level as well, whatever, that looks good. Yeah, and now you see at this part the focus is in the background still, but I want the focus to be in this card, right? So for that I'm gonna add a keyframe of focus distance. I'm gonna move it, let's say here, because at this point the camera is moving and it would look good kind of. And now here the camera moves completely, and this should be the time where the camera focuses on the object. So let me just go into this one and then adjust my focus according to the image. Let me just do it like this, and then let me make it a bit closer. Is that good enough? Let me just make it full. Yeah, that quality is good. That's good enough at least. And now I'm gonna easy ease these keyframes, press F9 and then make it a bit like this, just a little bit. You don't want to do it too much, just a little bit like this, and that's all. And now let's play this in full resolution. And now you can see that it's getting blurry here because the focus distance is somewhere else. And to be honest, after this clip you don't really need the focus distance a lot because there's not a lot of 3D movement. 3D as in the distance type of movement. So I'm just gonna disable the 3D here, and for that I'm gonna click on aperture and then go few frames ahead and make the aperture 0. And now it's gone. It slowly fades out. And now you can see that there is no blur here anymore. And then this is my end, so I'm gonna press N and then work area end will be coming here, and then I'm gonna go to the end and press Ctrl A. Now all clips will be selected. Ctrl Shift D to divide these layers, and then delete to delete the layers after this part. And now this is our edit. Yep, I think that's pretty good. If you have any doubts about camera movement and graph, you can check these video out because I've explained them in details. And after that, you can come back to this video and then redo it if you want to, obviously. But that's all for this video. And I want you all to tell me the topic I should make the next tutorial in. So write that down in the comments if you want to, obviously. And thank you for watching.